Yeah.
I don't know if it's leaking or if it's getting some green.
What?
The satellite station. Yeah. So more of that then, if you're coming back tomorrow, we will tell you all about the contribution those pilots made and about the specific markings worn on the HAC Hurricane and indeed the provenance in relation to another prominent Pole who flew during the combats of the summer of 1940 of the aircraft owned by Jennifer Taylor. Mike Collett was flying the Hurricane display for us solo today in Hurricane Heritage's two-seater.
And as you can see, they very kindly smoked the airfield out for us. As they climb for height, their first manoeuvre will be a formation loop. So if you watch carefully, as soon as the smoke goes on, that's when they'll come down into the loop. Our pilots today are Dave Barrell in the lead aeroplane and Brian Corms. Dave has been with the team now since 2006, and this is about his 16th air display season. He's done over 1,400 air shows. Brian Corms originally started on gliders, then went into the Air Force, and he's flown most aeroplanes from gliders right up to executive airliners. And smoke is on, and any minute now down they'll come into the first manoeuvre, which is a formation loop. And here we go. So on the dive into this loop, they're doing about 150 miles an hour, and at the bottom the girls are pulling about 4G. So if you can imagine, that means the girls are feeling 4 times heavier than you would do normally. Come over, and then they'll be going into a stack. The rig they use is unique to aerosuperbatics. Nobody else has a rig that works like this. It has a pin that holds it upright for normal flying or when they're doing the public wing walking, but the girls take the pin out, and that's when they can move the rig around. They also have a safety wire on, which is attached to the aeroplane by a carabiner. And coming towards us now, you can see the girls are sideways in the rigs. Come into the stack, and then as they come towards us, they will split. So our 2 wing walkers today are Kirsty and Emma. Kirsty's been with aerosuperbatics for the last 6 years. She started off as an aerial circus performer, so is well to do all of these manoeuvres. Her favourite time is when she's actually climbing round the aeroplane, not actually attached to the harness. Emma has done a couple of years with us, and she has done gymnastics and ballet, and once again, very well able to do these manoeuvres. But believe you me, it is extremely hard work on top of those aeroplanes. You're working really, really hard. They'll now come forward onto the B axis and do the brake as they come towards the crowd. So if you've got your camera handy, get ready with the photographs. And off they go into the split. They'll now come back round again and do a series of opposition passes for us. So again, get ready with the cameras because there'll be a good photo opportunity. Also, please put your hands in the air. Now once again, girls are sideways in the rigs. You can see they've moved around yet again. They're coming in for an opposition pass. If you watch closely, you'll see them swing back round to normal standing position again. And now they're actually upside down in the rigs again. You see with the toes nicely pointed. Very odd feeling. Aeroplane's right way up, you're upside down. With you again, go sideways on the rigs. So this is a good opportunity again. Put your hands in the air and give them a wave as they're coming straight down the crowd line. Very soon the aeroplanes will slow down slightly, and this will give the two wing walkers on the top the chance to actually climb down, and you will see them, they will be sitting on the front of the aeroplane. So completely out of the rigs, just sitting on the front of the aeroplane. Okay, so it looks like that's the next pass, not this one. I think we'll find this time they're coming in and we'll get a nice roll coming through. Up they go. And over the top, and in fact the girls are upside down in the rig, so that must feel really peculiar. of lower passes, so get your cameras ready. And as you can see, they're now sitting on the front of the aeroplanes. They've actually climbed out of the rigs and are sitting right on the front of the aeroplane. And with a So as they come in for their last pass, please give them a huge wave and a huge round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Aero Superbatics.
We have them, the Fury and the Mustang. Very smooth sounding 2,500 horsepower Bristol Centaurus 18. In contrast, of course, the P51D Mustang using the Packard built V1650 version of the Rolls-Royce Merlin. Linked by units aboard 3 Royal Navy carriers and 1 of the Royal Canadian Navy. Mustangs, by then designated not as P51s but as F51s, were flown in the Korean theatre by the Republic of Korea Air Force, the Royal Australian Air Force, and the South African Air Force. As well as by the US Air Force itself in the hands of pilots who had already transitioned to jets, but converted back to Mustangs in some cases. And the Mustang held certain. In South Korea, while the jets tended to fly with rather longer transit times to the combat areas from airfields in Japan. question of endurance and range, because quite a lot of Seafire as the Royal Navy's main carrier-borne fighter after World War II. Assets committed to the UN efforts in Korea. The only RAF contributions being Short Sunderland flying boat stationed in Japan and Oster AOP-6 air observation post aircraft flown on behalf of the Army. The Fleet Air Arms contribution, therefore, much more substantial, and it was to the Navy that the only British... It's now generally regarded that Lieutenant Brian Ellis was the Sea Fury pilot who claimed that notable coup de grace. Still flying with the original Bristol Centaurus engine. American Wright and Pratt & Whitney radials have and as so many Mustangs did after the P-51 replaced the P-47 Thunderbolt with the 78th Fighter Group, the Duxford Eagles. At the end of 1944, beginning of 1945, a Mustang settles down onto the grass here, and that one flown by John Dodd. That Mustang's famous blue nose scheme representing the Bodney-based unit that it served with, showing up absolutely beautifully now in this glorious early evening light. And we just await the arrival of the Fury, which is owned by Fighter Aviation Engineering.
This afternoon. There are links to the A1, the A10, the A11, the A14 and the M11 on the outskirts of Royston, which is just about 5 or 6 miles away. If you park in our north car park, which is located over the Bailey Bridge, all the cars will be turned left when you leave this afternoon. Please don't go around the roundabout of the motorway that travels north to the next exit, then take the A10 route to Royston. Most importantly, do drive carefully, and we hopefully will see you back here tomorrow for another repeat performance. Ben, it's been rather fun today.
It really has. Thank you very much, Colin. And we ought to remind people, if they're not able to rejoin us tomorrow, some of the next events taking place here, because the next of our flying days is coming soon, and this one is entitled The Americans, paying tribute to the shared Second World War history of British and American forces in the flying displays with aircraft such as the B-17, the P-47, several Piper Cubs and more. They're free to IWM members. You can still